you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here, and I'm back with a new video. And thank God it's Friday. Happy Friday. I hope everyone is doing well. So for today's video, a couple of black women, they're taking their power back, and they've come to TikTok and explained that they're no longer pro-black anymore. They're pro-black woman. Let me know in the comments, do you think that's possible? In my personal opinion, I don't think that's possible. I used to be pro-black, the whole, black family, the community, black love. Shout out to the rapper Papoose. He pushes that black love a lot. Now I'm pro Shanice, aka Nisi. I'm pro no one else. I can only stick up and defend myself. Listen, last year was a very revealing year. A lot of people that would go to the heavens and earth for, they basically stabbed me in the back. So I learned from last year that the only person I can depend on and rely on is myself. You know what I mean? So a lot of people can be pro-black and stick up for black males or black women, and then they turn around and slap you in the face or spit in your face. You know what I mean? So I'm pro Shanice. That's all I've got to say. But yeah, I'm gonna roll this clip and I will be back with my commentary.
People wanted to jump down my throat when I said that other races of men, particularly these men, love dark-skinned black women the most. And not only am I here to double and triple down on what I said, but I'm also here to say that I am not fully pro-black. I am pro-black woman. There is a big difference. And a lot of times, like, black men will come into the comments making all these defenses and all these things, but like, what we have to understand is a lot of the pro-black ideas were created by men who were misogynist, and I don't agree with that. I have total respect, well, some respect for the men of the 50s and the 60s who led the civil rights movements and all that stuff, but a lot of them were really misogynist. I love MLK, but he cheated on his wife with a lot of different women. I've heard horror stories about the Black Panthers. So my black idea is not architected by men, and it never will be. Now, I'll be honest, most of the books that I've read, like I've read Roots, I've read Copper Sun by Sharon Draper, but I haven't read a whole lot of black literature. So if you have black literature that is created by liberated black women who are not male-centered, I would love to read it, because I do recognize that I need to work on my ideas, but I stand by what I said. I see white men loving dark-skinned black women the most. When I traveled to Asia and I saw interracial couples, the women who got to wear their hair exactly how they wanted to wear their hair and still look beautiful and still feel beautiful, every single one of them, their 4C hair, every single one of them had a white man on their arm. And I'm not here to say that that's the best form of love that a black woman can experience, but what I am trying to say is, like, the stats are not looking good for black men. So I know that y'all get mad in the comments and you want to talk about how I'm whitewashed and whatever. I'm half African, half African American from Memphis, Tennessee. I know my history, I know my culture, and I'm here to say that I am not interested in taking leadership from a black man. I am not interested in taking pro-black leadership from a black man. I don't believe in it. Now, one black man I think I can get behind is Malcolm X. From what I've heard, I can tell that he really loved black women. And I recognize that. I want to get more into his literature, but I am not willing to change what I know in my gut is true to fit what I think a black man desires. Like, y'all are not loving dark-skinned black women the way that y'all should be. Y'all are not. Because if y'all did, we wouldn't be in these shitty situations. We would be able to depend on y'all. Not even me, but like women darker than me, whatever. It's not all about skin tone. What I'm trying to say is we have to like reconstruct our entire idea of what it means to be black. Because if we are listening to people who hated half of the group of black people, if we're listening and taking ideas from a group that hated black women, that raped black women or cheated on black women, why is that normalized and accepted? I don't agree with that. And it pisses me off when I see women defend misogynoir, if that's how you pronounce it, misogynoir. I hate that. Because so you did all this research, all this literature, you read all these books, but you formed an idea of blackness that centers around the black man, and you are a black woman. That to me is a form of self-hate. So I would rather be ignorant and listen to my own intuition than like take leadership from another black man who hated black women, to be completely honest with you. And we don't even know what liberation looks like for black women being centered. We still have not got to that part of history yet. So really, we don't even know if the civil rights era did us the most good. We don't even know what the best form of community could be, because black women are still being oppressed and not seen and not heard and not valued. And I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that at all.
Yeah, shout out to her. She made some good points. Now, with the whole MLK, it was just MLK Day in America. Black History Month's coming up in America. Theirs is in February. Ours in the UK is in October. I hear what she's saying. Like, yeah, if you know anything about MLK, like, yeah, he was a cheat, but at the end of the day, he was a young man. Like, the fact that he was putting his life on the line daily and consistently, like, you know what I mean? No one's perfect. Same with Brother Malcolm. If anyone knows anything about this channel, I'm a huge Malcolm X fan. I've actually got one of his quotes here. Put it down. So it says, a man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. So I love Malcolm X. Like, he was just always ready. And basically, what the oppressors would do to us, we just do it back to them. You know what I mean? And it does say in the Bible, an eye for an eye. Like, you know what I mean? And I know MLK, he was more like the peace, like, let's just go out there and protest peacefully. And Malcolm X was like, by any means necessary. But yeah, she told no lies. Now, with the whole interracial, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, a black woman's not gonna get with a white man or Asian and then their life's just gonna be perfect. But I do hear what she's saying. Like, even when I do see interracials, the black woman always does seem to be more natural. You know what I mean? But black men are not out here telling us to wear the bust down weaves and all the baby hairs. Like, they're always screaming that they hate it and the eyelashes. And then the girls turn around and say, I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for you. Same when they get the BBLs, they're like, I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for myself. And it's just like, you just want more attention. Like, keep it a book, you know what I mean? So to each its own. Like, if you want to date outside, like, good for you in it, but you can't just say, oh, dating outside your race, your life is going to be perfect. Like, come on, there are good black men out there. No one's perfect, you know what I mean? But I definitely agree, like, the gang banging culture, the guns, the drugs, the baby mothers, like, you know what I mean? Black people are not getting married at a higher rate than any other race, you know what I mean? So I definitely agree with when she mentioned that. DV is a big one when it comes to the black community. It's not spoke about enough. I can't even say the word on here, but to do with children, that's not talked about, and that happens a lot. Playing house, that happens a lot in the black community. So yeah, we've come a long way, and we've still got a long way to go. A lot of people do agree with that, what she said about the civil rights. Like, was the civil rights really a good thing for us? Obviously, we have the whole Black Panther. There's a lot of mess in that, you know what I mean? A lot of the men in there did have white partners. Like, even Brother Malcolm, before he became a Muslim, he used to be with white women. MLK, white women. Like, I don't know if they just wanted to try it, or if that's who they actually wanted to be with. But obviously, back then, you couldn't, you know what I mean? You couldn't be out here in an interracial relationship. It's mad. So I get both points. I understand that she doesn't want to be pro black. She's pro black woman. And like, I hear it. And like she said, she's half African and she's half African American. And she's from the South. So, she knows her history. I just say to each its own, but you don't need to bash. You know what I mean? If you're going to be pro black woman, you don't need to bash black men, vice versa. Like, being in an interracial relationship, we're not saying, just forget about the black community or you can't speak on issues. But it just doesn't make sense that you'll be preaching about, oh, the white man, the white man. And then you're going home to a white woman that came out of a white man's ball sack. Like, you know what I mean? Like, please make it make sense. Like, let's say you're married to a white woman, but you're pro black. Your father-in-law is a white man. When you have kids with this white woman, that's going to be your kid's granddad, like, and I'm sure she's got uncles, brothers. So you can't be preaching about, oh, the white man's doing this, the white man's doing this to the community, and then you're literally going home or you're going over to her side of the family. And guess what? You're gonna be surrounded by white men. Like it's not just gonna be all white females. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't feel like you can be pro-black and sleep outside your race.
Bitch, I'm so pro-black. I come off as anti-Semitic. I come off as racist, which I can't be. I'm so pro-black that it will make you think that I hate everybody else. It's not that I hate everybody else. I don't trust anybody else. Everybody had a chance to show their hand. Everybody had a chance to show their hand in history, and they showed their ass. So, unfortunately, I don't really give a fuck how you feel. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know, part of my growth over the past year is just simply accepting that these people exist and I have to live amongst them. I don't have to trust you. I barely have to respect you. So yeah, you're gonna call me anti, you're gonna call me all the tisms and ists and antis that you can think of, and quite frankly, I don't give a fuck, because it's always going to be black people first, then dogs, then hibiscus tea, and then everybody else. That at least over here. So, sorry, not sorry.
I know that's right. She had me at the hibiscus tea, like, yes. But yeah, as soon as you just love your blackness and you're confident in it, it irks people, especially white people, and then they just start feeling some type of way. And it's just like, no one's talking about you, no one's thinking about you. I'm just proud, you know what I mean? When you're just wearing your tops, your hair's out, I'm just proud to be black. Now, I get it. A lot of white people, especially like the conservatives, they're like, well, when white people say, oh, we're proud to be white, it's seen as racist. Da, da, da." But that's because of history. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Maybe not you, but your ancestors did it. Like, they've done a lot of damage in the past. And, the only time we heard white power is when they were burning like crosses on black people's lawns and stuff and bombing church. You know what I mean? So it's one of those. But I agree with her. When it's like Independence Day for Jamaica, Carnival, we wear our colours. We're very proud to be Jamaican. You know what I mean? I've got the Jamaican flag in my car. Like, we're very proud. Shout out to the Puerto Ricans. I know in America their flag, like, when you're in a neighborhood full of Puerto Ricans, you just see the flag everywhere, and it's because you're just proud to represent where you come from and your people. It's not about hating on anyone else, but because of history, you know what I mean? Because Puerto Ricans were colonized by America. Like, I think they're a part of their whole, part of the states. But it's a whole island. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I love how they represent, and you're always gonna see that Puerto Rican flag. You know what I mean? And same with Jamaicans. Like, sometimes I walk past certain areas, cars. I see the flag. Like, you know what I mean? We're proud to be where we come from. So like, just because we're proud doesn't mean we hate whites or we hate Asian. Like, we're just proud. You know what I mean?
You can't be pro-black woman without being pro-black. No, but seriously, like the statement, "I'm not pro-black, I'm pro-black woman," like that, it's an oxymoron. Like it's a very contradictory statement, because in order to be pro-black woman, you have to be pro-black, because there is a way to be pro-woman, but not pro-black woman. If you know what I'm saying, like rent has to be due, right? Because it comes to a point where I truly believe that people just get on the internet just to say anything. And what I mean by that is, like, they don't even understand the words that they're saying. It's like they start talking and they just post. They don't even rewatch their video to make sure that what they said like sounds coherent and actually makes sense. They just post and go without a care in the world of whether or not their statement actually makes sense or not. Like, I would respect statements more if they said something like, "If it ain't pro-black woman, it ain't pro-black." I respect stances like that more, because it reminds us, or at least for me, it's a saying that says, hey, remember to include everybody, right, in your stipulations, your mission statement or whatever. Make sure you include all of us, because without this half, right, of the population of that community, it's not really pro anything. And just like you can't be pro-black without being pro-black women, you can't be pro-black women without being pro-black. Again, it's an oxymoron. It's in the statement. A lot of y'all have to understand that men are not your enemies. Okay, they're not your enemies. The real enemy is the institutions and systems that condition us to perpetuate this self-hatred in our own community. again, we have to start attacking ideas instead of trying to attack people. Because let me tell you something, our community, right, in and of itself will not get better if we are constantly excluding half of our population. How successful do you think a student is going to be if he is always excluded from class? Be it because he got in trouble, be it because he or she is, always late to school, or they're always absent, whatever. If a student is not in class and is constantly excluded one way or the other, how successful is that student going to be? How successful do you think, right, the Black community as a whole is going to be if we keep trying to exclude, right, and keep out half of what makes us who we are? What do you think the impact, right, of this statement, right, I'm not pro-Black, I'm pro-Black woman, what do you think the impact of that statement is going to do to, the other half of our population? Again, I'm not saying I don't understand the sentiment, right? I get why this stuff is said. It's just that in 2025, we have to be very, very clear as to what we are trying to do. Black men and Black women in general will not get anywhere without each other. I'm not going to argue with you about that. And you have to think about the impact of statements like these have on our youth, right? Again, because this is a children's app, right? Most social media, right, caters to children first. And they might not tell you, but I know this for a fact, okay? The youth, the next generation is watching. This is another message that I have to ask. When your father, your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your nephew, your son, when they hear you say these things or statements like this, what do you think the impact is going to be? I know what I just said sounds like corporate speech, but I need you to earnestly think about what the impact is going to be if they constantly hear, right, their sisters, their mothers, their cousins, their aunts. What is going to be the impact of constantly hearing the women in their life say that they're not pro-Black, they're pro-Black women, pretty much insinuating they're not pro-Black men, they're anti-Black men in a way. That's kind of what the statement says, at least to some people, right? I know you didn't say it. I know that's not technically all the way true, but that's how some people will conceptualize what you're saying. To say something like, oh, I'm not pro-Black, I'm only pro-Black woman, says, hey, I'm not for Black men, I'm just for Black women. Whatever they got, that's on them, I don't care. But anyways, this video is already long enough as it is, so let me know what you guys think. Should more people adopt this statement, or do you agree with me and say that, hey, we should probably change up our language a little bit? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I agree with him. Not with everything, but from when he said Black women, you have obviously Black dads, uncles, cousins, brothers, nephews. God forbid if something happens to them, are you not going to care because they're a Black boy? Like, it doesn't make sense. So I agree. And even in the title, you can't say pro Black woman because just the Black, you're meant to be pro anything Black. And even like she said, Black women being with Asian or being with white men, even a lot of biracials, doesn't matter like how light they are, they're still looked as Black. The whole one drop rule and whatever. Some come out darker than the typical mixed race. So like to police and to white folks, they look Black. They might be light skinned, but they look Black. So even that, even if you date or sleep or marry outside your race, the world still looks at them as Black. So if you have a Black son now and you're just like, no, I'm pro Black woman, so if anything ever happens to you, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, huh? So I therefore agree with that. But yeah, you can't say pro Black woman without saying pro Black. But I agree, like us as a Black community, Black man versus Black woman, vice versa. It's just creating a more of a divide in the community. It's just like, and then you'll have some, because even in her comments, they were like, listen, I've got a good Black husband. I love the Black men. And then you have some that agree, like, yeah, I've got a white husband. So it's just like, as a Black community, it's literally just shambles. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's very confusing.
I absolutely love, cherish, admire, respect, and care for our Black men. I really do from the bottom of my heart. I just feel like I have to preface this video by saying that. I've dated outside of my culture, never outside my race. The other day I seen this video and this woman was like, I'm not pro black, I'm pro black woman. And I don't agree with that sentiment because I am pro black and pro black woman. But I kind of felt that in my spirit, I'm not gonna lie. Throughout my childhood and throughout my entire youth, black men have failed me. And I know the history. I know. But I mean, it's just the truth. And the thing about the oppressive ideologies and narratives of white supremacy and patriarchy is there are always subset groups of people who struggle from a very, very personalized, individualized, niche group of issues that you may not see, but we feel every single day. Throughout my entire life, I've seen black women hold space for everybody, but no space is held for them. And y'all just refuse to see that. Y'all want everything to be black and white, but that's not how the world works. There's always gray, there's always nuance. I mean, look how y'all treating Deontay Cal. Somebody's finally speaking up for us and y'all attacking that man. Me personally, in my intimate relationships, I feel like I'm rarely in a space where we're holding space for black feminism to thrive instead of just holding space for black issues in general. Because black feminism is also a very, very niche issue because everybody knows when feminism was going on, we were already working when everybody else was trying to work. I mean, we have some people out here who refuse to believe we live in a patriarchy. How are we ever going to get somewhere? Even in history, it shows. Like, I remember reading Huey P. Newton. I love Huey P. Newton's work, by the way. I remember reading Revolutionary Suicide and getting to the end and being absolutely heartbroken. Name me right now one woman besides Assata Shakur that was a part of the Black Panther Party. You can't. And black women made up 60% of the Black Panther Party. Huey P. Newton and Fred Hampton, they're on shirts. You hear their name all the time. What did the women that organized get? They got raped, molested, exiled, and told to shut the hell up. I really would just wish we stop having the oppression Olympics and really just start holding space for both of our subsets of issues. Because, I would never know what it's like to be a black man in this country. And you would never know what it's like to be a black woman. So instead of having these oppression Olympics, I just really wish y'all would just start listening to people more. That's all.
Hey, shout out to her. And I have done a video on Ashada Shakur, so do check it out if you've not seen it. I agree 100. Wait, when you think of our leaders, yeah, and the t-shirts, the books, museums, you hardly see black women. Like, I feel like the only black woman you ever see is Harriet Tubman, and rightfully so, but there were so many more black women fighting. Obviously, most of the time there was in the background, but still, like she said, they got beaten on, molested, abused. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree. But what she said, what I took from that clip, more importantly, that yeah, us black women will never know what it's like in a white man's world to be a black man. And when we speak up, you shouldn't just like, shove us off and say like, oh, life ain't that bad. Because you will never know what it's like to walk in a black woman's shoes, especially a dark skin. You know what I mean? It's all right to be, it's okay to be light skinned, but being a like proper melanated dark skinned woman, you'll never understand. And Brother Malcolm said it best: the most disrespected person is a black woman. And he was just talking about, he was just like a black woman in America, but now it's worldwide. You know what I mean? I've done numerous videos of black women almost getting kidnapped or getting kidnapped, unalive, DV, like so many. And most of these women are dark skinned. I'm not saying it can't happen to light skin, but most of them, most of the time, you know what I mean, it happens to dark skinned women. So I definitely agree with that. This whole oppression, like, oh, black men have it worse, and then obviously black women, like, no, we've got it worse. Yeah, we need to stop. We've both been oppressed, we've both been drugged, we've both been through it. We need to come together as one. And that's why, those proper like black couples that are deeply in love and you can see it's real. I know they're not meant to, you're not meant to put anyone on a pedestal like relationship goals, but when you see a black woman and man come together, it's just beautiful. I'm gonna use ASAP and Rihanna. They dated back in the past, obviously broke up, seen different people, and I love how they came back together and obviously they got their beautiful family now. But just the way Rihanna looks at ASAP, vice versa, I just love it for them. Like, I'm just so happy for her. But yeah, shout out to her. She made some really good points.
I am not pro black. I am pro black women. A creator on here started a conversation by saying this statement, and it had a lot of people in an uproar. And I have to say, I agree with where she's coming from. When I first seen this video, I had a very like strong reaction to it. I had like an aversion to some of her words even, and I wanted to sit on those feelings that I had and think, was there any validity to what she was saying? When she goes into detail talking about the civil rights movements and past civil rights leaders being misogynistic or very hateful towards black women, I at first, because we grow up and we really revere these past leaders, we don't really think about anything like that or look at them in a critical lens. And I think it's important to do that because it's not like those were perfect movements with nothing to improve. Things can always get better. And in calling those movements anti women or some of those leaders hateful towards women or misogynistic is not insofar as the ideas they were pushing and fighting for were misogynistic. It was turning a blind eye or absolutely ignoring the issues that black women were facing. Like, if we're really talking about all the issues the black community faces, I feel like we're only having half of that conversation because a lot of the things we do currently talk about are economic or job related, income related, or criminal justice related. And most of that would pertain to men because we are in a patriarchal society where men are expected to be the leaders financially and in the household. Like, we aren't talking about the mortality rates with black women. They're the ones that have to bring that up. We aren't talking about the amount of rape or sexual assaults that happen with black women. We aren't talking about the amount of black girls that go missing every year. I mean, even nowadays, when we see all these videos of black women almost dying in hospitals because they're being ignored by the staff, or the differences in mortality rates with pregnant black women, those are all issues that we aren't really bringing up as men. The society we're in hardly believes women when they come forward with their stories, let alone black women when they detail their stories of abuse or assault or anything else. And just to wrap up, I don't have any problems with black women saying that they want to create their own safe spaces because they're entitled to that. They deserve to feel safe and protected. And if black women are not finding that around black men, that really isn't an issue on black women. That more says something about the black men and that we need to step up and do better.
Yeah, shout out to him. I love his take, and I like that he took. When he first watched the clip, he was like, you know what I mean. But he sat back and he deeped it. And sometimes you can even look at your mother, like you look at her life, especially if she's a single parent of maybe 5 children. Look at everything your mom's had to go through. She's looked after you and your siblings. She's probably held down like 2 to 3 jobs. If she if she's ever taken you to Disneyland, and you just look like, bruh, my black mother did that all on her one. You know what I mean? So I love how he spoke on, just sitting back on what black women actually come to the internet with and what we talk about again. Black women are more likely to die than, white women and Asian women during birth. I did a whole video where this nurse was literally just ignoring this black woman while she was in active labor. If you've not seen it, do check it out. But I like it because, like he said, black men won't speak on them sort of stuff. They won't speak in it because, well, first of all, they don't know because, you know what I mean, they're never going to be pregnant. But it's true, like, when it comes to black men speaking on issues, it's obviously the white man, always that one. But it's always to do with money, jobs, economics. So I definitely agree with that. But it's not the stuff like great DV, birth, you know what I mean, death. Like, it's true, it's never really those conversations. So I definitely agree with that. So he gets it. Like, again, I don't think the initial clip meant any harm, but like how he took it, it's just a safe space for black women. Like, yeah, I can see that. Therefore, but I feel like they need to pick a different name. You know what I mean? Hijacking the name. Obviously, you have like white females who are feminists. I know some black women are too. but that's more like white, like that's their thing. You know, when you sometimes you meet certain people, they'll be like, I'm a feminist, da, 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 you know what I mean? They want equal rights, they want women to da 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 da. So that's what it is giving. It's just giving a safe space for black women, but it's called not pro black, it's pro black woman.
I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with y'all ladies. I don't know how the hell I ended up on the black men hate inside of TikTok. I don't know how the fuck I got over there, but you know, For You page mean For You page. So clearly I'm over here for a reason. Every other video is black men this, black men that, black men this, black men that, black men this, black men that. Like, damn, like y'all don't have no, like, listen, I get it. I've been through hell and high water with these black men too. But y'all don't have no like male influences in y'all life. Y'all don't have no positive male influencers. Like, for instance, my fucking dad was a very kind-hearted family man. My fucking brother was a very kind-hearted family man. So for me to just sit right here and say that all black men ain't shit and this, that, and the third, I will look like a fucking idiot. And then another thing that irks my nerve is how like y'all be like, oh, I'm only pro-black women, not pro-black men. Bitch, if you gonna be pro-black, go ahead and be fucking pro-black. Like, stop trying to exclude black men out of the black community. All of us are here because of a black penis. Like, don't play this video around y'all kids, but I gotta keep it brief. All of us are here because of a black penis and a black uterus. Both of my parents is black as hell. Black as fuck, actually. Like, it just don't get no blacker than them. So how the hell can we exclude black men out of the black community when they were here? We are fucking here because of them. Like, it just don't make no motherfucking sense. Let me go ahead and trauma dump for y'all, because that's clearly what y'all like. And, you know, the trauma, you know what I'm saying, the trauma dumping, bitter hating women club and all the other shit, that's what y'all like. So let me go ahead and just trauma dump with y'all. My ex-fiance was the worst nigga I've ever fucking met. It brought joy to my heart to see that man move on and go marry a white woman, because I do not want not one black woman to go through hell and high water with that man like he took me. That nigga told me to my face that I'm not worthy of love because I'm a black female, and he kept calling me a motherfucking monkey. Now, mind you, he black as hell too. And he wasn't a Pookie, he wasn't a Ray Ray, he wasn't out none of them low caliber ass niggas that y'all be fucking with. This nigga was 25 with they fucking masters. And I'm like, well, if I'm a monkey, then you the monkey too. You know what I'm saying? So that was the worst nigga I ever fucking met. But even then, after leaving that relationship, I still find a way to treat black men with respect. I still find a way to understand that when I go out here in this world, I smile at black men, I talk to black men, because to be honest, they just like us. They face discrimination just like us. When they get harassed by the police, they are a part of the black community. When they fucking like get time, extended time for no fucking reason, they are a part of the black community. When the courts don't let them see their motherfucking kids because y'all want to be bitter as fuck, they are a part of the fucking black community. Like, they go through discrimination too, and I hate when y'all try to exclude them. Like, it's just so fucking annoying, and y'all are annoying. Like, hey, we all been through, you know what I'm saying, we all done dealt with ain't shit niggas, but at the same time, like, we really just got to take accountability for who we pick, and we have to fucking move on and fucking get over it. Like, y'all are dead ass annoying. There's no way in hell y'all trying to exclude black men out of the motherfucking black community. And don't get me wrong, we got some coon ass black men too, but I ain't addressing y'all right now. Y'all be coon as fuck too. But still, like, it's just scary how much, like, we have been fucking programmed as people. This shit is actually scary. And the shit starting to bring fucking tears to my eyes, because I was looking at a picture of my mom, my dad, and my two brothers and stuff like that. I was looking at that family picture. I said, damn, like, will we ever fucking get back to that? Does the black nuclear family fucking exist anymore? Like, bro, y'all trying to exclude each other out of the community so motherfucking bad. Like, it's just so sickening. You cannot exclude black men out of the motherfucking black community. Like, it just don't make no sense.
Yeah, shout out to her. She made some good points. First, let's address her ex. The fact that he would call her names like a monkey, and especially, you know what I find weird? These men be darker than you, and it's just like, well, if I'm a monkey, then what the fuck are you? You know what I mean? So first of all, so again, she's happy that he's gone. She's happy that he didn't get with another black woman, that that white woman has to deal with him. Like, listen, the fact that he put his crusty lips together and said, listen, you do not deserve love, you will never get love just because you're a black woman, not because you're a horrible person or because you're an idiot, just because you're a black woman. Like, again, the self-hate, that's a self-hating nigga. Like, you know what I mean, the coon type. Like she said, we're not addressing you in this video, we ain't got time for that. But for him to fix his crusty lips to say that, yeah, the self hate is real. Like, I feel like he wanted to be with a black woman. I mean, a white woman all along. But sometimes they get with a black woman just to please their family, because you know their family like, make sure you find yourself a good black woman. They'd be like, I tried it didn't work out. Now I'm with a white woman. You know what I mean? They can always say, well, mama, I was with a black woman at one point, but you know how it went, and now I'm with a white woman. Like, this the self hate is real. That's all I can say in it. But I agree. Like when she said, as black women, you came out of a whole black sack. Like, what are you doing? You were born, you were put into a black womb, and you know what I mean? Your daddy's black. Now I can get it. You can't be black or a black woman and never been hurt by a black man. It could be your dad, you know, the ones that leave their mums to be single parents. It could be your uncle, again, DV, sexual abuse, like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff happens. But again, just like the video I did yesterday of a Latino woman saying she's no longer dating black men, you can't group, even though if you have a bad experience, you can't group the whole of everybody to that person that's hurt you. So I agree, like again, coming out of a whole black man, it just doesn't make sense. And then later on in life, if you go on and have children and then you have a black son, so, you know what I mean? While going for your black son, are you just gonna be like for your daughters and you know what I mean, not be for your son? Like it's weird. But again, like the man said previously, I feel like with this, they just want a free, calm space that protects black women, which I understand, but you've got to give it a black name. I mean, a different name. It can't be pro black woman. Like, can you imagine someone doing like a group meeting or an event and it's like pro black, but maybe the person didn't see pro black woman. They just thought, oh, I'm a black man. Let me see what's going. You know what I mean? And he can probably be pro black. And can you imagine him going in and they're like, sorry, sir, this is only for black women. It's like, why you know what I mean? Like, we're meant to be coming together as one, as a community. Like, why are you gonna exclude me? Like, it's weird. Again, we've been through a lot. The oppression Olympics, it's like not every day, you know what I mean? So like she says, she goes out, she smells up black men, she says hello to them, even myself, like especially if they're Jamaican. If I see someone from my parents' country, I'm gonna let on, you know what I mean? The weather's good, you know, you just casually talk to them, you know what I mean? I feel like we need more of that instead of like hating and screwing on one another. There's so many times I could walk past a black and they're just screwing me like, why you like, I haven't stole from you, I haven't took your man, like why are you screwing me, like for what? But shout out to her, she made some really good points and I agree.
These pro-black women only groups, demographics, a lot of them push white supremacy. And I know a lot of it is hurt that they haven't received the proper love from black men that they believe they deserve. And the reason why I know that it's a lot of projection, because a lot of them scream like just hatred towards black men. Hatred. The same type of hatred from people that watch black in masses. The same type of hatred of people who spew Birth of a Nation. Right? The whole like that similar type of hatred, right? When it's not even rational. Right? When you have conversations about black men and you're relying on racist stereotypes, and you're relying on generalizations, right? White supremacy, essentially, it's clear love, right? Just showcase in a very toxic way because that's how white supremacy operates. But in terms of any acting in good faith, it's impossible to actually have discussion with these people. Honestly, and it's not like a difference of opinion. It's when you operate in bad faith. So it's like, again, debating a white supremacist. They're going to continue to lie. So what do you look like principally debating somebody who will alter the truth, who will change the narrative in order to cater towards their own feelings? You can't take these people serious. And at this point, they are reinforcing white supremacy. They're pushing this black inferiority complex because they'll say it's pro-black women, but at the same time, they'll say white men love black women more than black men, appreciate black women more than black men do. They'll say this, and it's not backed by anything. And when it's not backed by anything, you have to know, generally speaking, that's white supremacy. You're just going off of feelings, not facts.
Yeah, we made some good points. I feel like it depends who's promoting this whole pro-black woman. Shouldn't have to mention the white man because we can see it, you know what I mean? Especially if you live in certain areas, you do see when a white man is with a black woman, they are more natural, like no makeup, no eyelashes, no nail, you know what I mean? So I hear what he's saying, like a lot of these pro black women, the kind of like it's given, you know, the oppressors, it's given white supremacy. I can see that. Like even that statement that white men love black women more than black men, that's wild. That's a crazy statement. Listen, if you want to date out your race, interracial, do you in it, but unless you're speaking positivity into the black community, don't speak on us. I'll use Candace Owen. She's a black woman, American. She's married to like a white, I think he's like a billionaire, a wealthy white Englishman anyway. And she's forever talking about the black community, how bad we are, da, 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 da. And it's just like, just be happy with your white British man. Like, if you're not speaking positivity, like, leave the black community. Like, you've already left anyway because you're with a white man. Allow it. Like, we don't need you speaking on us, you know what I mean? But, you know, the white, racist, conservative, they love it. They're like, yeah, keep speaking the truth. Now, black fatigue, is that a real thing? Yeah, like even I've done a video, like even me being in the black community, being a black woman, there's certain stuff I hate seeing, you know what I mean? So I am gonna speak on it, but I'm not gonna speak on it like a white supremacist, you know what I mean? So I definitely agree when he mentioned that, but yeah. Yeah, so the video I did yesterday, someone tweeted something wild. It was like black men were made for Latino women, and it's just like, huh? And I love that someone clapped back. A black man came underneath and is like, nah, bro, black men were made for black women. The blackity black, black, the blackest. Like these statements be crazy. Like a person would never say a Chinese woman loves black men over Chinese men. Like that just don't make no sense. Because if that was the case, then everyone would be Malaysian. You know what I mean? There would be no full Chinese people. Them kind of statements piss me off. It's like, listen, there's nothing wrong dating outside your race, do you? But don't be making statements like that. Like it's just stupid.
I remember I was talking with somebody not too long ago, and they asked me why I'm a pro-black woman instead of just being pro-black. So let's get into it. Number one, why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't I be, especially considering the fact, whether you like it or not, black women and black feminine presenting people are the most unprotected group in America, besides indigenous women, of course. Although both black men and black women both have to go through the struggles of racism and have to deal with various types of oppression like hate crimes, police brutality, over masculinization, fetishization, and etc. because of their skin color, black women not only have to deal with that, but also have to deal with the same types and forms of oppression that I just listed because of the fact that they're a woman as well. It sounds absolutely reasonable to me to put the same group of people that I'm also included in that face double the oppression first.
Yeah, shout out to her. I understand again. It makes me laugh when Americans speak on this topic. They're always like, oh, the most unprotected, woman in America. Baby, it's worldwide. Like, it's sad because even if you go to a predominantly black country in Africa, in the Caribbean, then you've got to deal with colorism, featureism, and all the other isms, you know what I mean? If you're gay, if you're straight. And it's just like it's like either way you can't win when you're in like the Western or in white or European countries. You got to deal with racism. When you're in the motherland or you go back to where your parents come from or where you're originally from, you've got to deal with all these other isms. Especially if you're dark skinned, it's like the darker you are, you know what I mean. The worse it is. So I definitely agree with that. Like when she was like, "Why wouldn't I be pro black woman?" You know what I mean. First of all, I'm black, so I hear that. But then it's like they don't think about the future. If you go on and have a son, how are you going to maneuver, since you're pro black woman, you know what I mean? I guess if you're going to be child free, then I guess it works for you. But, again, if you're dating or marrying outside your race and then you go and have a biracial child, by the system, by the world, that child is still seen as black. And if it's a boy, you know what I mean? You can't just be like, I'm still just pro black woman. It's like you have a whole son. Like, it's weird.
This message is for black women and black women only. If you're not a black woman, you are welcome to continue scrolling. You are worthy of every single beautiful, amazing, spectacular thing this life has to offer. You are worthy. You are worthy on your best days when you are looking good, smelling good, feeling good, like you could take over the world. And you are also worthy on your worst days when you're too depressed to get out of the bed, when you are lost and heartbroken and you feel like every single person on this planet has turned against you. You are worthy. You are worthy of kindness. You are worthy of respect. You deserve to be treated gently and to be poured into, to be lifted up. You are worthy today and every day. I love you, and I hope you have a great one.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all the black women. Shout out to my mommy, my grand, rest in peace. Like all the black women doing your thing. Like she said, when you're tired, when you're ill, especially being a single mother, you still gotta get up and you still gotta grind. Like we see you. Again, you do a lot of things behind the scene or even in front, but never get the thank you. So thank you. You know what I mean? And just yeah, pour into yourself, love thyself. If you're in a toxic situation, please seek help, get yourself out of there. Because once you just start pouring into yourself, you're gonna flourish as black women, as we already do. You know what I mean? We're always winning, black girl magic. But yes, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one.